Claire was 26, lived alone in a two-bedroom apartment, and had never owned a cat in her life. She had a steady job in graphic design, a small balcony she never used, and a bedroom that felt slightly too quiet every time she turned the lights off at night. She wasn't unhappy, she just had the particular kind of stillness that settles into a space when only one person lives in it. The cat came into her life on a Tuesday in late October. A colleague had sent her a photo. A litter of Golden British Longhair kittens, born just 5 days earlier. The breeder, a calm woman named Helen, met her at the door and led her to a room where 4 kittens were arranged on a soft gray blanket like small, furious loaves of bread. Their eyes were barely open. Their ears were still folded flat against their heads. They moved in slow, uncertain circles, bumping into each other with the coordination of something that had only recently discovered it had legs. Claire sat on the floor. Helen placed the bolden one in her palm. He weighed almost nothing. His fur was the color of a ripe apricot, fading to cream along his chest. His eyes, those enormous, perfectly round green eyes that would later stop people mid-sentence when they saw him, were just beginning to open. He looked up at Claire with the vague, unfocused gaze of someone waking from a very long sleep. Then he opened his mouth and produced a sound completely disproportionate to his size. "He does that," Helen said. "I know. That's why I wanted him." She named him Butterscotch. She brought him home 3 weeks later when Helen confirmed he was ready. He fit inside her jacket pocket for the drive. She kept one hand on him the entire way. By the time Butterscotch was 4 months old, the routine had established itself without any input from Claire. Every night, without exception, he waited. Not on the couch, not by the door, on her pillow. Specifically, the left side of her pillow, positioned at a precise 45-degree angle that left Claire approximately 2/3 of the surface to work with. When she came to bed, he would lift his head, blink slowly at her, that long, deliberate, slow blink that cat behaviorists call a visual kiss, and then lower his chin back to the pillow as if to say, "You're here. Good. We can proceed." He did not move when she settled in beside him. He simply adjusted, pressing the full warmth of his body against the side of her face. Some nights she'd wake at 3 a.m. to find his tail draped across her eyes like the world's softest sleep mask. She tried twice to gently relocate him to the foot of the bed. Both times he was back on the pillow within 4 minutes. She stopped trying after that. He also had a morning ritual at 7:14, not 7, not 7:30, but 7:14, with a consistency that baffled her. He would begin kneading. Not the blanket, her shoulder, the slow, rhythmic push and pull of his paws that cats carry over from kittenhood, the motion that meant warmth and food and safety. She'd lie there in the gray morning light, half asleep, feeling that small, repetitive pressure, and something in her chest would settle in a way she didn't have a word for. I see you still haven't subscribed. That honestly breaks my heart a little. Hit the button. You'll want to see where this goes. The green eyes were the thing people always mentioned first. Friends who came for dinner would stop talking mid-sentence when Butterscotch walked into the room. He carried himself with the particular dignity of an animal that has never once questioned its own importance. He would position himself on the back of the couch, survey the room, and then select, with apparent deliberateness, whose lap to occupy. He almost always chose whoever seemed least interested in cats. Claire watched this happen at a dinner party in February. Her friend Marcus, who had arrived announcing he was not a cat person, spent the last hour of the evening with 11 pounds of golden fur arranged across his knees, wearing the expression of a man who has just reconsidered a long-held position. But the moments that mattered most to Claire were happen when no one else was there. There was a Wednesday in March when a client project collapsed entirely 2 hours before the deadline. She sat at her desk, staring at the screen, the kind of stillness that comes just before tears. Butterscotch jumped up beside her keyboard, walked directly across her laptop, closing 3 windows in the process, and sat down on her hands. He looked at her, that slow blink again, then he began to purr. Not the polite purr of a cat requesting food, the deep, resonant, whole-body purr that she had come to understand as something different, something that meant, I'm here. You don't have to explain it. She sat there for 10 minutes, her hands trapped under a purring golden cat, and the deadline felt slightly less catastrophic. In July, Claire had to travel for work, 5 days in another city. Her sister came to stay and care for Butterscotch, sending photos every evening. Butterscotch on the couch, Butterscotch at the window, Butterscotch eating dinner with what her sister described as a quiet expression of disapproval. He was fine. He ate, he used his litter box, he sat on the windowsill and monitored the street below with professional intensity. But every photo her sister sent showed the same detail. He was sleeping on Claire's side of the bed, not the foot, not the couch, her pillow, his chin resting on the exact spot where her head usually was. Her sister texted on day 3, "He knows you're gone. He's not sad exactly, he's just waiting." Claire came home on a Friday evening. She set her bag down in the hallway and stood still for a moment. Then she heard the sound. Rapid, light footsteps on hardwood, and Butterscotch appeared at the end of the corridor. He stopped, looked at her. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then he walked to her, unhurried, and pressed his forehead against her ankle. He didn't make a sound. He just stood there. She sat down on the hallway floor in her coat and let him climb into her lap. He settled in, began to knead her knee, and started to purr. She stayed there for a long time. Butterscotch is 2 years old now. He still sleeps on Claire's pillow every night. He still kneads her shoulder at 7:14 every morning. He still positions himself on the couch and evaluates her guests with an impartiality that borders on judicial. The apartment isn't quiet anymore. Not because it's loud. Butterscotch is not a loud cat, until he wants to be, and then he is extremely loud. It's quiet in the way that matters. The particular stillness that used to fill the space between rooms has been replaced by something warmer, a presence, the soft sound of breathing that isn't yours. People ask Claire sometimes if she always wanted a cat. She thinks about the photo her colleague sent, the tiny, yawning kitten, mouth open, complaining to no one. The 11 minutes she spent staring at it before making a decision she didn't fully understand yet. Some choices don't announce themselves. They arrive small and loud and fit in the palm of your hand. And then one day, you wake up and realize the apartment that used to feel too quiet now has a heartbeat in it. A warm, golden, green-eyed heartbeat that refuses, absolutely refuses, to sleep anywhere except exactly where you are. Have you ever had a pet choose a spot and simply never leave it? Tell me in the comments.